Example 7b, we are continuing to complete the square. We've been doing this like all day like it's cool. All right, I'm just going to do the same example or the same type of problem as I did in part A. Just for those who want an additional one, you can go ahead. If you're like, I got this, then you can move on to example number 8 then, okay? Just for those who need it. Let's go ahead and just go through the steps, right? Step 1, write the squared term as a equals 1. Okay, so the a term is in front of x squared, and notice that it is a 1 already. It is a 1, so we can just do a little bing on step number 1. Step number 2, let's write the equation so it looks like this. And again, that means write the x squared and the x term on the left side and the c term on the right. So the x squared and the x squared and the x term are on the left. That means I want to take this negative 1 and put it on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides. So I get x squared plus 7x equals 1. Bing! Step number 3, divide the b in half and square it. So I'm going to take my b term, which is 7. I'm going to cut it in half. So that means I'm going to make it 7 halves. Okay, yeah, you could do 3.5, but now you're going to have decimals everywhere. And most of the answers that we want to represent are in rational form, fractional form. So I'm going to leave 7 halves as a fraction and not write it as 3.5. Okay? So I cut it in half and then I square it. So I get 49 over 4. 7 squared is 49. 2 squared is 4. Bing! And this is our special number. All right, make sure don't forget about that. That's our special number that we just found. So in step 4, let's add this number, our special number, to both sides. So x squared plus 7x, that's a 7 right there, plus 49 over 4. And then on the right side, let's plus 49 over 4. Okay, so let me just highlight that. I added 49 to both sides. Okay, that's what I did. I added our special number to both sides. Okay, step number 5. But before that, bing! Okay, now going on to step 5. We factor the left side first. Okay, so cool shortcut again. I just take the middle number and divide it by 2. X plus 7 halves squared. Bam! Super radically cool. Got that. And then the right side we need to simplify. So we want to add 1 plus 49 over 4. So this has a 1 on the bottom there. It always has a 1. So the common denominator is 4. So I'm going to multiply this top and bottom by 4. And then 49 and 4. And then and that's going to have a common denominator of 4. So we're going to have a 53. Bing! Now go on to step number 6. Solve the equation. So this is solve for x then, right? So I'm going to get rid of the square by taking the square root of both sides. So the square and the square root cancel. So I have x plus 7 halves equals. Notice what I do here now. I'm going to leave the top as radical 53, but the bottom is going to become a 2. Okay? Is that pretty rad right there? And then well, let's think about this. Can we let's just see if we can. Can we break down the square root of 53? We're going to want to think here real quick here. Can 7 see, it's 9, 4, 16. Nah, we're going to leave it just like that then. Okay, just got to make sure, because if we can simplify 53, then we want to go ahead and do that, but none of our perfect square number goes into that. So let's go ahead and subtract 7 halves from both sides. All right, so the 7 halves cancel. And lastly, we have x equals. We always put the number in front of the radical. So it's negative 7 halves plus or minus radical 53 over 2. And, of course, since they both have a common denominator, let's just go ahead and write it as one denominator then. So negative 7 plus or minus radical 53 all over 2. And that would be our final answer.